Appreciate you clicking on this review. I just got done watching Venom: The Last Dance, and with this third and final installment in the Venom trilogy, we are following Eddie Brock on the run, not just from a government task force, but from Noel that has sent down creatures to hunt down Eddie and Venom. Together, they get themselves ready for one last dance. And that's all. Pretty much not gonna be spoilers to you guys. This will be a spoiler-free review. I promise, guys, I really wanted to. I went in going into this movie thinking ahead of time for this review. 3 movies in, I'm not going to be a Venom hater anymore. I am just going to accept the silly, fun, entertaining nature of these movies, turn my brain off, be like a lot of people out there that just have so much fun with these movies. But I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. This one was not for me, guys. Yeah, get your pitchforks out and start getting mad at me. Oh, what did you expect? All these movies are silly. Oh, if you're really expecting a good movie out of a Venom film now, you're kidding yourself. Look at the words we're saying in defense of this. I have a lot of thoughts with Venom: The Last Dance, and we are going to have to save some of the spoilery stuff for a spoiler review later on. But look, trying to get on to the things I did like about this movie. We are 3 films in, and this third movie has basically mastered the humor and Eddie and Venom dynamic. That is the thing that ultimately carries this movie, and is totally why I understand there is a crowd of people out there that just love these films, because when they go to see a Venom movie, they're going to laugh, they're gonna see some cool action, interesting visuals, and that is enough for a lot of people out there. Venom: The Last Dance has a lot of that. There are moments where it continues to have that humor that the franchise is known for. The opening scene with Venom and the cartel members I thought was choreographed really well and had a fun fight scene. Oh, don't even get me started on the big climax battle of this movie. That's really gonna be the thing to win people over when they go see this film, because by the time you get to that big battle at the end, you can't help but to kind of enjoy it, even if everything before it has been a little ridiculous. I myself even was like, oh, you dang punks, this is pretty fun to watch. All right, I'll give you that. When it came to the stuff involving Noel, which is obviously a big thing a lot of us are wondering about, not getting too much into it, but I was actually kind of pleased with the use of Noel in the movie. Would I've liked more? Yes. But Noel, his presence and goal is kind of felt throughout the entire movie. Heck, even these little creature monsters Noel sets out to get Venom and Eddie, those things were actually pretty badass. You know, 3 movies into the Venom franchise and it looks like we were gonna do just symbiotes and symbiotes and symbiotes, but these freaking creatures, although probably from symbiote descent, were horrifying. There's a really cool thing that it does when it eats people that I'm surprised got away in PG-13, but also anytime Venom or anyone else goes up against this creature, it is a big threat. And I really wasn't expecting much from like the mindless monster that was going after Eddie, but every time it came on screen, I was like, oh, you guys better get out because you're kind of effed. I think also if you're somebody that has been enjoying the Venom movies and just enjoy them for what they are, this one does incorporate a small punch to the gut because you've spent 3 movies now with Eddie and Venom. And the movie definitely plays with your heartstrings on that, where their relationship is front and center, and they really do treat this movie like it's the big finale, montages and all, where I can understand the people watching it actually getting emotional with what happens in the film. Not saying I did, but I can easily see how a fan of this franchise would be like, oh, this is so heartwarming. But really, that's about it for me. Those positives are going to be enough for the majority of people going to buy a ticket for Venom: The Last Dance to walk out having a good time. But I really have to be honest with you guys, and I just can't fake it as much as I want to. I am going to be the party pooper. This movie is a mess. 3 films into this franchise and I still just haven't loved a single one. I feel like that guy who is the lamest person at the party, because I see everyone at the party having fun. Oh, you're dancing, you're laughing, you're eating food, you're having fun, and I'm in the guy in the corner going, all of y'all are stupid. All of y'all suck. When can I go home? That is how I feel when I go to watch a Venom movie and the theater is laughing, clapping, cheering, which actually happened during Venom: The Last Dance. I feel so out of place whenever I talk about these movies because I just can't seem to get into them as much as other people. And that's again with me already having the mindset of, I know they're just meant to be dumb entertaining at this point. I sat through 2 of them. I knew what to expect. but even then, I was underwhelmed by a lot of it. For starters, the story is all over the place. It is a big mess. Things just happen randomly without really having much of a purpose other than to fill the runtime. Like, for example, the entire Vegas section of this movie serves no purpose of the film other than to maybe be a Vegas sponsorship, which is a thing. Eddie's entire motivation and his point A to point B where he's trying to get to, I thought was also set up very sloppily. The exposition dumps involving Noel and the lore of the symbiotes and, you know, the whole setting up for future stuff, which they have teased that they have bigger plans for Noel, really just feel like afterthoughts in the movie. They almost get a little too convoluted and complex with the reasoning Noel is after Venom specifically. And I fully believe a lot of this movie was chopped up, cut up, and redone through reshoots. Juno Temple is like a great example of that, a character that barely gets a backstory or reason to be involved in this movie that has like a minor payoff towards the end. The entire bus of family road tripping that pick up Eddie, I don't know why they were included in the movie unless there was a completely different reason why they were in the film in the first place until they changed that in reshoots, which for sure feels that way. I'm also curious about the amount of time Venom gets on screen, and when I say Venom, I mean fully Venom, head to toe, not just him peeking out of his back or talking inside of his head, because the movie creates a reason for Venom not to be fully out for a majority of the film. And I definitely noticed that for the last Venom movie, we were actually not getting a lot of Venom throughout. In fact, I'm fully believing that's the entire reason they incorporated that Vegas scene, because before it and after it, there is a long period without Venom being Venom. So it feels like they almost added in that scene because it's like, oh, we gotta have Venom doing something. I've seen the people that say Venom The Last Dance is the best movie out of the trilogy. That might be true to you when you go see it, but to me, all three of these movies are basically on the same level. You can interchange them worst to best whatever way you want. To me, they are all of the same quality. In my personal preference, I'll take the second movie because at least I get to see Carnage and Venom fight. Another thing is, I don't know if it's just me, but it felt like Tom Hardy was super phoning it in. Like, this is him just collecting a paycheck, and I do not even mean that in an insulting way to Tom Hardy. You go ahead and get that check, man. Because I know this guy is a world-class actor, but for a lot of the movie, it just felt like he didn't care. And same went for a lot of actors in here. It feels like they're just regurgitating lines, and the only person that felt like they were actually trying and giving a real performance was Chiwetel Ejiofor, but he only then sticks out because he's the only one actually being an actor when every other person is given awkward dialogue throughout the movie. And yeah, although this is the last Venom movie and they very much treat it like it is the end for Tom Hardy and his version of Venom, this film still awkwardly sets up things even outside of Noel. But I gotta be honest with you, I hope they do nothing with it. I hope that the first post-credit scene, which is the only post-credit scene you need to see, do not stay for the very, very end one. It's just a gag, not worth it in my opinion. But that first post-credit scene that teases more, I hope it ends up being one of the many Sony post-credit scenes that goes absolutely nowhere. Because I am just not that interested in seeing what Sony is going to slop put together. At least the Venom films had an entertaining, fun quality to them. Because yes, I would rather see Venom The Last Dance than Madam Web, than Morbius, than Joker 2. I do think this movie is better than those. But I mean, come on. That is already such a low bar. So yes, just call me a Venom hater. I'm sorry this trilogy didn't do it for me, but I really am happy that there are people out there who go in and just have a good time. I wish that could be me when I see these movies. So when it comes to Venom The Last Dance, I'm going to give action 3 stars. There are a couple of action sequences. The biggest one is the one towards the end. But because the movie creates a reason for Venom not to be fully out for a majority of it, there's not as much action as I would have liked. Humor in the movie, I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. The Venom humor has never really been for me, but I will admit I chuckled a couple of times and there are some funny moments. And most of my theater was laughing at every joke. So there's that. Drama in the movie, I'm gonna give it 1.5 star. What a sloppy put together story. It is an entire mess. So many decisions made in this movie for the final film that I'm like, what was the point of that? Horror in the movie, I'll give 1 star 2 for Noel and his creatures. They are kind of frightening. And suspense in the movie, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. Towards the end, you are wondering what the outcome of a certain character is gonna be, but aside from that, it's pretty predictable. Casual moviegoers, who are the ones that enjoy these Venom movies the most, because they're not nitpicky Spider-Man fans like me, I'm gonna give it an A-. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it a C+, and critically, I'm going to give it a C-. Look, you know yourself very well. I think if you're a fan of these Venom movies, you know you're gonna go see it and enjoy it in theaters, but being honest with my heart of hearts, to me, this is a movie I'd recommend you rent and watch at home.
That'll do, Donkey. That'll do.
Still, there's going to be a lot of fun things we can theorize and talk about when it comes to spoilers, so when the movie's released, I will be posting that spoiler review, but go ahead, tell me in the comments section how much of a lame loser I am, because I'm not having fun with these movies. I'm ready to read them all down below. I respect your opinion either way, but let me know what you thought of Venom The Last Dance. Anything, everything, be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films, but as always, I'm Chris. Take care.